Greetings and welcome to ECON 202 Microeconomics. My name is Derbin. I'll be your instructor for this online course. Just wanted to go over a couple of things. Just first off, to kind of introduce myself again. I've been teaching at Southwestern Michigan College since the fall of 2021, and it's been interesting going through the last round of COVID and hopefully the last round of COVID. Where we were masked up and so on and so forth in the classroom. But at any rate, we don't have to worry about such things, do we, with being in an online class? So we'll leave that go. Prior to that, I've taught probably about 20, probably a bit more than that, 20 some years. I've been teaching a variety of places, including several community colleges in Michigan on the eastern side of the state. That's where I'm from the Detroit area, Mott Community College in Flint, Delta Community College, which is up in Saginaw, and also taught at University of Michigan Flint, online, face-to-face, in all of these venues. And also I've taught at Davenport University and Northwood University and University of Detroit Mercy, going back, which is my alma mater. That's where I went to school for my undergrad degree in economics, and I also had a degree in history undergrad. I also earned a master's in MBA at the U of D Mercy, and I also earned my master's in economics from the University of Detroit Mercy again. So and I've also taught there. So I've taught there, and I've also the other place that I've taught it would be UC Berkeley. I've taught there since about 2004, so it's going on 20 years. It's online, of course, and it's been interesting. So I've taught numerous econ courses, ranging from undergraduate principles courses like this, micro and macro, and intermediate macro, micro, and taught labor economics, public finance, a variety of other finance courses, well, corporate finance. Even taught geography before. Anyway, I've taught pretty much everything in the curriculum at a four-year institution, economics-wise, and I've also taught here at Southwestern Michigan. I also teach personal finance, and I probably will be teaching some other courses as time permits. Busy schedule, as all of us are busy these days, right? Anyhow, back to econ. So this is microeconomics. It's econ 202. You may or may not have already taken 201, econ 201. It's okay either way, because in both courses we do start with microeconomics. Basically, these basic microeconomic topics. They're for the first 5 chapters. These are all micro, whether this is an Econ 201 or Econ 202 course. And so this is 202. So this is, if you've had 201, then chances are you've already had a good number of these chapters. So this will be a refresher for you. But what I found myself, and this is from past experience, taking several econ, a couple of dozen econ courses over the years, I guess, is that it's always good to start with the refresher, with the beginning, these early chapters. So even though they're a review and, you might think you understand everything, guaranteed, every time you go through this material, you'll learn more. I do too. But, in front of the classroom, I actually do learn more as we go through, especially in these remarkable times. So real briefly about the course itself. Again, it's through Moodle. And I want you to wander around Moodle and get yourself comfortable with the material, with the learning management system. And if you run into any trouble, feel free to reach out to me, send me an email, and it's not that big of a deal. So just give yourself an opportunity to kind of learn a little bit, at least so far as that's concerned. Chances are you've already been exposed to Moodle, but everyone's got a little different style, every instructor. So what I suggest that you do is to when you go into Moodle in the beginning of the course, which you may have already done by the time you've hit this portion, you may want to go in and just do the introductory overview introduction / intro / orientation. And also, just go through that, and that'll show you some of the nuts and bolts in Moodle. It's I found it to be, I've taught in many different institutions, use many different these learning management systems. I go back to when they were called course management systems, but whatever. Anyway, they all do pretty much the same thing. And it should be pretty easy, especially for younger folks, dare I say. It should be pretty intuitive walking through Moodle. So again, if you have issues, let me know. Just kind of follow the course as it goes along. And just bear in mind that the course moves along, and there are a lot of things to kind of point out, but I'll leave that for the orientation. Before I go on, I was talking about my academic experience in terms of in the classroom and, both sides of the classroom, I guess. But I also have experience where I worked at Chrysler as a financial manager for a number of years. So I was at Chrysler for about 10 years before I jumped into education kind of full-time, part-time basis. But so I've got a great deal of on the ground experience in terms of like the corporate world out there. So again, if you have questions about those issues, something along those lines, let me know. I'll be glad to share some of my experience. I'd say wisdom, but I don't want to push it too far, but at least my experience. So again, anyway, so far as the course itself is concerned, again, get yourself used to going through Moodle through the different modules. So we go week by week basis, classes go. So unit 1, for example, module 1 would typically start on a Monday at midnight, and everything that's presented in that module has to be accomplished, completed, etc., by the following Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So that's the pretty normal way that the course rolls out. The other aspect of this has to do with the publisher's materials through Connect. It's a subscription. So when you purchase your book, you have to purchase the Connect subscription to go along with it. Now the Connect subscription is going to be good for both ECON 201 and ECON 202. So if you've already had ECON 201, then you can use that same subscription, assuming, I think there's a time limit, but assuming that you're taking them in consecutive fashion, you should be able to use your Connect subscription for ECON 202. No big deal. Anyway, that's pretty self-explanatory. All the information is in Moodle in terms of getting over to the McGraw-Hill site. You click on that link, and don't forget that I also have the information in a PDF file that's also in Moodle for you to use as kind of a cheat sheet. If you want to use that, you can open up the PDF file and click on the link from there. Anyway, there are different ways of approaching this. And the other thing too is that keep in mind as it goes along, this is not the cleanest of systems going from McGraw-Hill to Moodle. So if there are some issues with some of the quiz scores or the homework that's assigned, just let me know. Give me an update. Just shoot me an email and tell me that I have to go in and update your score, if you will, in the gradebook. Anyway, so again, that's Moodle for the most part. So the things that you're going to be focusing on Moodle that are going out to Connect, for one, to do quizzes and the homework. And the second thing that we would be doing through Moodle, aside from the lecture materials and so on and so forth that are presented, would be the discussion board. The discussion board is pretty straightforward. And it's what I'm expecting is it's pretty much on a weekly basis. You go in and there are 5 questions, five posts that I'm expecting on your part. I post typically, 5, 6 questions thereabout, and you can respond to 3 of those. And you can also, what I expect you to do is to respond to 2 other of your fellow students' posts. Okay, so comment on those. And I'll have a rubric out there for that. But specifically, it's very general in terms of I want five 5 posts. That's a requirement. Secondly, I expect them to be about a paragraph each of those posts that you make, the responses and so on and so forth. If you don't want to respond to a fellow student, you can always add another post based on one of the other questions, or the same question if you want to elaborate on one of those questions. So that's pretty open. So covered quizzes in Connect, the Learn Smart, which is the homework in Connect, the discussion board, and then finally we have the exams. Exams are pretty much, I think, every third unit, every third module, covering the preceding material, and those are in Moodle themselves and within Moodle itself. And please keep in mind that they are timed. The exams are timed. Okay. Anyway, that kind of wraps it up. So I don't want to go much further. There's a lot of noise in the background on my end. I apologize about that. I'm not very professional. I want to make sure I get this out there for you. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to email me and or call me on my cell. I don't want you to text. I would much prefer if you call me directly and leave a message. You can call anytime. Okay. Thanks, and let's have a class.